And we're live with another podcast. I am Mike here. With me again is Jeff, who cannot figure out the mic stand.
No, I cannot. Good to be back, though.
Yeah, a little trouble, but...
Yeah, just a bit. It's,
That's how we start here.
I'm a little rusty, rustiness coming on the show, but it is what it is.
So, a couple things happened since the last time we talked.
Yeah, quite a bit. When was the last time we did a podcast?
It was right before the free agency, so...
That's right. Well,
probably the beginning of July or end of June.
Wow,
so
we've
like
been
a
slacking.
month or so.
Yikes.
But, yeah, so a couple things happened. There was...
Just a bit.
Yeah, the off season. But
so, probably the biggest one that everyone was talking about, John Tavares. He went to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes, that's the biggest one and probably helps him the most.
Yeah.
I still think if you go back to one of our podcasts today with Mitchell with where we put them all, I still have them at I put them at second overall. I put them over Boston, but I still think Tampa Bay is the best team.
Yeah.
In the Atlantic, but the Atlantic is getting better.
No, I agree. And it
especially
almost
with
got even better for Tampa Bay for a split second, because there's one night where a possible Erik Karlsson trade almost happened to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Twitter and hockey world exploded for a little bit, but that actually did not turn out to be true. The trade did not happen, so Erik Karlsson is still with the Ottawa Senators. So, but for the biggest thing for Philadelphia, they signed James van Reimsdyk to a 5-year deal.
The second biggest signing.
I really think that it was the second biggest signing,
and then probably the most important for the Flyers, because just that one signing immediately for me puts them third, possibly second in the Metro.
I agree with that. I was thinking the same thing around that. At least third, second would be a push.
Would not be surprise me if they're one of the higher scoring offenses this season.
Well, now with the addition of JVR back in orange and black.
Not just that, but seeing how well Patrick did at the end of the season just with forecheck and having JVR on the other side, their productions are also going to go up.
Yep. And then
you also had that first line with Couturier and
Giroux and Konechny.
There's a lot.
That line has to stay. That line has to stay together.
I would think so.
Because here's what I found so interesting. Last year, for I think it was like in December or so, Dave Haxtell put Travis Konechny on the top line with Giroux and Couturier, and out of nowhere, bam, he just lit it up. And
no, at first it was with forecheck.
Right, no.
But
I'm saying when
right in the preseason.
Right. But yeah, when TK went back up to the top line, everything just clicked.
They did.
For a ridiculous amount of games, like
you could say the same thing when they put Provorov and Ghost together 60, too.
But basically towards the very end of the season, and then at one point, TK just got knocked off the top line.
Yeah,
and that
because they wanted to get more depth scoring, but him with Filppula and Simmons, who were having poor years, and having him on there, he's not a guy
that wouldn't do you enough.
He's not one of those guys that can help a line that way. Yeah, but I mean, he did score a couple times, like that first game when Carolina he scored, but. Yeah. Still, there wasn't much.
But it wasn't.
But I think it was kind of like a spark thing.
I agree with that. I'm still trying to figure out what Haxtell's
I still don't know what he was figuring out, because there was a lot of games near the end where if you were winning, he was out. If you were losing, he was off the first line.
And another questionable decision
you put Raffle there.
Haxtell made was benching Robert Hake until Game 6 against the Penguins.
That was not the most questionable move. The most questionable move was Filppula on the first line.
Right. Well, no, I know, but I'm saying that's one of them, in my opinion. But I agree, that one was the tough one. But you don't have to worry about Filppula anymore, because he signed a contract with the New York Islanders, and as they lost John Tavares,
they made a lot of questionable moves.
They really did. It was a 1-year contract for the Islanders with Filppula. Mm-hmm. But I have right here. I have the kind of like a little tracker for some moves. For the Islanders, they did sign Robin Lanier, 1 year, $1.5 million deal. It was Valtteri Filppula they signed. They agreed to a 1-year deal with KHL star John Kovar. I never heard of the guy. Yeah. Other than that, nothing.
I just don't know how you can be happy with a Islanders.
They signed a 4-year, $12 million deal with Leo Komarov.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where they're throwing their money at. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Because he must. Tavares must have waited until the last minute or whatever until the Islanders were not going to resign. Because it must have been really close between Islanders and Toronto. If
I agree,
they couldn't trade him at all. Yeah. If I'm an Islanders fan, I'm not angry at Tavares.
Well, no, because
for trying to go for the money or whatever, and he tried to stay. He said this is kind of why he wanted to stay. They did everything that he could, and it still wasn't enough.
Right, and I definitely
couldn't even because they let him go, and that's probably the most you're ever going to get out of someone.
I definitely applaud the Islanders for at least attempting to make Tavares stay because they brought in Barry Trotz, a Stanley Cup champion coach. Mm-hmm. They brought in Lou Lamoriello, for the front office. Those are two powerful moves right there, and that says we want you to stay here, but we
made an arena deal. I know you don't like the Barclays Center, but nobody really wants to play in 2 stadiums this season. So there's a lot of things, and
it's tough.
And I think with him thinking of it, his career going forward is with this Islanders team. Are they the best team for me to contend, or all the other teams that were available?
Right.
Which probably Toronto was probably their most favored.
Right. And I don't know, stuff. But the deal for John Tavares is a 7-year, $77 million deal to join the Toronto Maple Leafs. So it's Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, William Nylander.
There's a lot. It's just their defense still
That's not fair.
Their defense
Their
is still
offense is legitimate. It's crazy. So they're going to be quite a threat in the Atlantic, which I think it's going to be great, though, because it's always nice to see teams get back in the swing of things.
And Buffalo, too. They made a couple moves. They traded for Skinner.
They traded for Jeff Skinner. I thought that was pretty big. They drafted Rasmus Dahlin first overall, which is a no-brainer. Oh, this made me laugh. I got to find it again, but it was
also traded for, what's his face in Pittsburgh? Sherry.
Kind of Sherry, yeah. Sherry or Sherry?
Sherry. It's Sherry. Come on.
I love how it took him such a long time to figure out what.
Hey guys, you're telling my name wrong 2 years in. Like, no, your name's Sherry.
Yeah.
Maybe after a game, 5 games or something like that.
It's like, no, I'm gonna go with this, but 2 years, nope. Mm-mm. But anyway, so the one thing.
But that was only to try to get Jack Johnson, which that's a very questionable move for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
For $5 million.
No, I agree. But there was something that I put on Twitter because I forget who. I think it was the Dallas Stars. That's what it was. Because for Dallas on Twitter, they retweeted something or here's what it was. They retweeted a something that Dan Rosen from NHL.com put out, and basically it says, we're going to all look at Rasmus Dahlin as the best rookie defenseman probably, but it might be close. When he was talking about Miro Heiskanen, the 3rd overall pick in 2016, 17 draft.
Somewhere around there. Right?
17. It was 17 because that was a Patrick draft.
Yeah.
But I took that, I retweeted it, and I made a comment. I basically said, no offense to Heiskanen, I think he's going to be a good player and everything, but he's not a generational talent like Dahlin is.
No.
And this is why people analysts like Dan Rosen kind of annoy me because sure they know a lot about hockey and everything, but if you think that Heiskanen is going to be as good as Rasmus Dahlin is in his rookie year, you're incredibly mistaken, and you obviously don't understand the true talent of Dahlin.
Right.
It's just I was embarrassed for Rosen, and I'm not even the guy. And sure, I mean, no offense to Heiskanen, I think he's gonna be a great player, but it's Dahlin. Mm-hmm. He's a generational talent. He's the Austin Matthews, the Connor McDavid of the defenseman.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It just depends on how they play.
Right, I agree.
That's what it comes down to.
And then. But I think Buffalo is going to be a really interesting team to look at.
They will be. I mean, they lost O'Neill,
they also traded O'Reilly. I was just going to talk about that to the St. Louis Blues for center Tage Thompson, center Patrick Berglund, another center, Vladimir Sobotka, a first-round pick in 2019, and a 2021 second-round pick. Who won that trade, in your opinion? I know it's a tough one because I'm still trying to figure out who won because it's.
I would probably say St. Louis just because they got a first-line center now.
Yeah.
I mean, they were going with Shen at the line center spot, but he's not a first-line center.
No, he's not. I think
they needed a first-line center, so that was
that's O'Reilly.
Best. Yeah.
O'Reilly and Tarasenko now on the same line. That's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he just moved down to the second line, but still not bad.
Some other signings. This one cracked me up. I didn't even know this happened, but just because I saw it, Zach Rinaldo signed a 1-year, 2-8 deal with the Predators.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, he was back in.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing that.
Here's a big one, actually. 5-year.
But he did have, in all actuality, he did have his best year with Laviolette.
Oh, yeah, I agree. 5-year, $28.75 million deal. James Neal going to Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
That's going
to Calgary's going to be better.
I think they're going to be a lot better, and I'm happy with that because I love Johnny Gaudreau.
They traded
Sean
away
Monahan. They did get rid of
Dougie Hamilton.
Wait, that was a while ago, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Now.
They lost Dougie Hamilton, but they got Hold on.
And we'll wait. Got it?
Hannafin. They got Noah Hannafin. Sorry.
No. That's right. Because they got rid of. What was it? It was that was the. It was Noah Hannafin and I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Now. So I'm there's too many Hamiltons in the league because the Calgary Flames sent Dougie Hamilton, Adam Fox, and Michael Furlan to this Hurricanes for Elias Lindholm and Noah Hannafin.
Yeah.
I think those are great pickups for the Flames.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised that the
Hurricanes
would want to get rid of both of those players, considering the fact that Hannafin was, besides Provorov, Hannafin was considered the best defensive prospect in the 2015 NHL draft. And Lindholm,
he hasn't really started out the best, but
right.
Still,
but I think
some guys take a little longer.
I think a trade for Hannafin will help his game. Same thing with Lindholm. So that's just what I think. I think they're both excellent young players, and I think they'll exceed in Calgary.
Yeah,
Lindholm and Gaudreau, and Monahan.
Carolina
that's
just kind of wanted to. I guess that last season was kind of like their last straw, and they kind of wanted to blow up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because they're always that one team where, like, on paper, they look like a team that can get 10, but never end up being it.
No, it's true, though. It really is. So I honestly forgot about that trade because I was like, "There's a couple things that went on."
There were a couple things.
Tom Kuhnackel. Here's another interesting signing by the Islanders. Tom Kuhnackel for a year to the Islanders. So, yeah. Joe Thornton and Thomas Hertl re-signed with the Sharks. That was great there. Here's a big important one for the St. Louis Blues. Robbie Fabry, a 1-year, $925,000 contract. That's a steal of a contract for the Blues. Sure, Fabry didn't play at all because I think, torn ACL last year?
I don't know.
I know he had some big injury, I know he had some big injury last year. I forget what it was, but that's a big re-signing for them. Getting Fabry back for a year and that low of a price, that quality of a player for that low of a price, it's incredible. Calvin DeHaan, one of the players the Philadelphia Flyers were looking to possibly signed a 4-year, $18.2 million deal with the Hurricanes. I think the Flyers would have went after him if it wasn't for that long or that big of a price. Because clearly they needed that money for JVR, which they went out and got him. But 4 years, $18.2 million deal.
That's a little much.
That's a little much for someone like him.
There were always these rumors that the Flyers were looking for like a third line center or something, but it never really happened.
Right. There was one of them. He signed.
There was Stasny. There was a bunch of people.
Stasny, I thought would have been great. He went to the Vegas one night. That was great.
That helps Vegas a lot.
That's going to be amazing.
They lost Neil, but Stasny will help more just because he's a center.
Yeah.
There's more responsibility.
There was... who was it? Riley Nash, that's who it was. Joined the Columbus Blue Jackets 3 years, $8.25 million. Great deal there for him.
Yeah, but
I've never been the biggest Riley Nash fan. I said it before. Hey, good for him, but we'll see what happens.
He never really. I mean, other than like last year with Boston, there really wasn't much from him.
Right, I agree. And then there's Andres Athanasio avoided another lingering mess, as ESPN calls it, because they have the tracker there.
Yeah.
And but it is true because they agreed to a 2-year, $6 million deal. And I agree, it is a lingering mess because there's a whole thing where he was looking to possibly go to the KHL or something. And it's a very bizarre situation, but it's for Athanasio and Detroit. I think it's a very happy return because they needed his speed, and they don't have many great talent left still, just because Zetterberg is getting older. He's about to retire soon, and I think give Dylan Larkin the C. I like there's a couple of other moves Detroit made. They signed agreed with Anthony Mantha on a 2-year $6.6 million deal. I thought it was great. Some other big deals. Nikita Kucherov agreed to 8-year, $76 million contract extension with Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay also re-signed Ryan McDonough to 7-year,
I don't know how they would have been able to trade for Carlson.
I agree. Well, here's
with their cap issue, they would have had to bring in a third team or something. They would have had to trade something else.
That's exactly what they would have had to do. And part of a lot of the rumors I heard was that I'll bring up Tampa Bay salary in just a second. But a lot of what people were saying, and I thought this is a very interesting thing, third-party team could be the New York Rangers, and there could be a possible Ryan Callahan reunite with the Rangers. Because for Callahan, he's a $5.8 million cap hit. Tampa Bay's hurting right now for cap space. They're at $76.853 million. They have a projected cap space of $2.64 million. So they're hurting.
They're hurting a little, but they spent most of that on trying to get Kucherov back. I mean, that's their big piece that they needed to get signed. 100%. So he lost out on Carlson, but
so here's
if I'm a Lightning fan, I'm not pissed by that.
Yeah,
because you got Kucherov for a couple years,
and you still
you're still going to be one of the top teams, if not the top team in the East.
Yep. And then here's some. They actually have a few notable players that are going to require some contract extensions. Yanni Gourde, Cedric Paquette, Adam Aaron, and Braden Point. Those four
Point will probably get something, but they might just let the other guys go.
It's tough to say because Point, he definitely deserves a contract.
Yeah.
I think all four of them certainly do. The one I would be okay with if I was Steve Yzerman, the GM of the Tampa Bay Lightning, is Adam Aaron. I like the kid, but he's not as important as the other players. No. Paquette, he's a pretty decent piece for them. And then Corey Conacher and Andy Andreoff, they can walk. And they also have Anton Strawman, Braden Coburn, and Dan Girardi. So at the end of this season, they're going to be free agents along with Jake Dawson and Slater. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Quake, something like that. But anyway, so for Strawman, Coburn, and Girardi, wow, $11.1 million between the three of them.
There's $11 million right there,
and that's gives you up to $13 million if you let those guys walk.
You let those guys walk, and your other guys are so great that you can just kind of do what the Capitals did last offseason, just kind of fill it in with.
I agree. I think that would be reasonable because surprisingly, Coburn, Strawman, and Girardi, they're still pretty young.
Yeah.
Girardi 34, Coburn 33, Strawman 32.
But they also, because they're older and they're like mid-30s, they can't really be expecting a bigger contract.
Yep. No, I agree. Some other deals around the league, though. Peter Mrazek, a 1-year, $1.5 million deal with the Hurricanes.
Mason got bought out.
I forgot about that. Kyle Broziak, 2-year deal, $2.3 million with the Oilers. Roman Polak, 1-year, $1.3 with the Stars. JT Brown, here's kind of an interesting one with the Minnesota Wild for a 2-year, $1.375 million. You also have the Rangers re-signed Vladislav Nemestikov for 2 years. I thought that was great re-signing there. As I mentioned, Riley Nash, Barchi back on a 3-year, $10 million deal with the Canucks. Other signings around the league. I gotta take a look here. Excuse me. Tyler Ennis 1-year deal was an interesting one for the Maple Leafs, $650,000. Patrick Maroon, 1 year, $1.75 million. And other than that, this is a big one. Connor Hellbuck got a 6 years, $37 million extension. That was big. It was. Especially considering the fact of how well he played last year during the playoffs. He finished second in the voting for Vezina. I thought he could have won it. Who won it again this year? I gotta look that up. Pecorino. I was gonna say, I knew it was someone, but
there was also the Flyers re-signed all their restricted free agents. Robert Haig being one of them. You mentioned him not too long ago as one of the guys that were scratched for no reason, but
right.
For $3 million, that's not bad for 2 years.
I'll take it.
I mean, for a guy like he's not like a Provorov or a Gostisbehere where he's gonna light you up or whatever or show you everything. He's a kind of stay home kind of guy. But
I agree. So
I think for what he showed last season, that's good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll get to the Flyers in just a second. There's some extensions elsewhere that are pretty big. Marc-Andre Fleury gets a big extension from the Golden Knights. Elias Lindholm, after the trade with the to the Flames, he got a 6-year contract. Adam Henrique also got a 5-year contract with the Anaheim Ducks. So those are some of the bigger ones out there in the league.
And Ryan Ellis.
Ryan Ellis just recently got a big contract. What, 6-7 years, something like that?
Yeah, it was. $5 years, 6.2.
Okay. That's really good, actually, for Ellis.
6.25, sorry.
So, either way, that's a really good contract for him. So, now...
that team probably has the best defense core.
Oh, hands down, Subban and Ellis.
Yeah.
That's not fair right there. As just part of it.
Yeah.
For the Flyers, though, so... Currently, they had
a pretty, other than the James van Reimsdyk signing.
Yeah.
I mean, it helped them a lot, but other than a couple of signings, they just made one other signing, which was Christian Svolin.
Yep.
And they weren't able to sign the third-line center or anything for that.
Yeah, but
which to me makes it seem like from maybe because the contracts might have been too much for Hextall's liking.
I agree.
And he felt maybe there was someone in the organization that could take that spot.
And I agree with that because I actually just wrote earlier today an article about Mikhail Verboyev of the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, how he could possibly fit that role. Possibly if I can't remember if he's a left wing or what, but or a center. But Danik Martel, let's see here. No, I'm sorry, he's a left wing.
He's a center.
Oh, he's a center?
Vorboyov?
No, Martel.
Oh, Martel's a winger,
Yeah. So, Vecchione, possibly you could have Verboyov. Realistically, those guys coming up.
You could always have the one that's going to probably piss off Flyers fans, but there's always Scott Laughton or Yuri Laterra.
I think
because near the end of the season they were using Yuri Laterra as center,
right? And I think Laughton would be a better option as a third line center because he really earned.
And there were also finish your point. Knock it.
Okay. He earned his playing time more. Sure, he struggled a bit and everything, but because there's certain types of players that unfortunately for them, it does take some time to just once they break out into the NHL, then they have to get used to it, and then once they're because this is only his second or third year as pro, at least with the Flyers or something like that, and there's certain players that it takes them quite a little bit of time to get used to playing, and then they get comfortable, and then they completely break out, and anything with Laughton. Before the expansion.
It took him a little while.
It did. It did. And still is a bit.
When he first came up, he wasn't really. Nobody really saw him as really anything.
No.
and then he got hurt in the playoffs. But then they brought him down for a whole season to be more defensive oriented, and it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. And they protected him in the expansion draft, which a lot of people were questioning, and I thought it was rather unique.
Yeah.
On like,
I thought it was unique, but I would have made the same move probably.
Yeah, because looking at obviously it's
because
easier to see in hindsight.
We're gonna protect Belmar really,
but
at risk losing Belmar for keeping Scott Lawton.
Yep, but. To be fair, though, Lawton has earned his role with the Flyers and where
he's
he's
at.
Third or fourth, he's fine there.
Yeah.
He'll be good.
Penalty killer.
Yep. He'll be good. So I'm going to look at
and
the
then
contracts.
There's also going to centers, too. There's Jordan Wheel's been...
Yes, Wheel.
Another person that's been...
Right, and that's another guy that's actually on this list because for the end of the 2019... after this season, 2018-2019, here are the players who will be free agents. Yuri Laterra,
yay!
He's gonna be as good as gone. 4.7 mil cap hit. Michael Raffle 2.35 cap hit. Jordan Wheel 1.75 cap hit. Lawton is a RFA $962,500 deal. TK and Taylor Lear will need contracts. They're RFAs.
Forwards.
That's just forwards.
Yeah.
Except I left one out. Wayne Simmons,
but
3.975 mil UFA. We'll talk a little bit about
and then
him
there's
later.
also Ivan Provorov, Travis Sanheim, and Christian Folan.
Yes. And then you also have Brian Elliott and Michael Neuvert. Elliott is 2.75 mil,
and
Neuvert 2.5. And who? Vecchione, that's right.
And Martel, but they're all like AHL guys.
Well, actually, some of them are kind of notable AHL guys. You got Anthony Stollers, Mike Vecchione.
Free agent this past season.
Tyrell Goulbourne, I guess. Dan Martel, Nicholas Aubkabel, and
this would be an interesting year for Stolarz because he's gonna have Hart with them too. And would he be able to then get a contract after the season?
Well, so what do you do with Alex Lyon? Do you keep Alex Lyon in the NHL just in case? Because think about how often Brian Elliott and Michael Neuvert got hurt last year. You know,
right? You'd obviously keep him, but
I think so too. It's tough, but I think that's what you got to do.
Lyon might be the first call because they probably at this point see Lyon as the better goalie than Stolarz.
Yeah, and
they're absolutely gonna take their time with Carter Hart.
Oh, they need
expect him to be up at all in the next year or so.
I don't.
And even when it does come up,
because he just turned 20. Yeah. So luckily for him, he's eligible for the AHL finally.
Yeah.
So now
he's going to be out of.
He's going to be playing in the AHL. So I would say.
But now now that he's playing in the AHL, you can't just have these people going, yeah, his numbers are great, but it's the juniors. Now it's going to be he's in the AHL.
Yeah.
So this is where it's really going to show.
And this is why I think you need to keep Carter Hart in the AHL for the entire year.
Yeah.
As much as fans are not going to love that, I get it. You know, he's going to be a great goalie, but goaltenders in the NHL are the most the players that take
hardest ones
to develop properly, not just to develop, but to develop.
Even look at Carey Price
properly.
Carey Price took some time to get.
He did because I remember
he was in the 2010 playoffs. He was the backup to.
I was just going to say that because it was funny. Yeah, Connor Hellebuck. Woohoo!
Yeah, I got my
It's funny because back in the 2010 playoffs.
Oh boy,
there goes my mic.
It happened again.
Back in the 2010 playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals between the Flyers and the Habs, my brother and I were watching the game, and he's telling me, he goes, "Wow, I'm surprised that, Carey Price isn't in." And I can't remember. I don't think I knew really much of Price at the time. I was like, "Wait, who?" He goes, "Oh no, it was my dad who was asking." He's like, "Oh, who's Price?" And we were telling him, he was like, "Well, he's this up and coming kid.
Yeah.
He's a goaltender for the Canadians. He's gonna be like really, really good." I think they even put him in game 1 or 2 because the Flyers they were dominating, and I mean it was 6-0 in game 1, 3-0.
Everyone forgets about that series too.
I know,
just because the Boston series just came right before it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Price came in the league in 07-08. That was only his 3rd season in the NHL. Mm-hmm. He went 13-20-5 that year. And here's my thing that I absolutely love right now. I'm looking at his stats. I think Carey Price is going to be one of those few players still in the league that is going to play with one team his entire career.
Oh, he will.
And I love that. I always love when players who are not only fan favorites, but are actually like great players stick with one team their entire career. I love that stuff.
I mean, yeah, it took him a while to be that dominant he is now.
But he is now.
What?
But he is now,
yeah.
Which is the best part.
I thought you were about to say he isn't now, like Jeffrey.
What Carey Price have you been watching?
Yeah. But yeah, he even when he first came in, he wasn't the best goalie. It took him a couple years. Yeah. He was dominant in AHL right away, but NHL it's a different thing. So even what's his face in Pittsburgh? I am not doing good today.
No, you're not. Tristan Jarry. Oh, no, Fleury.
No, not Fleury. Fleury's out of Pittsburgh.
Sorry. I
goalie.
Thought, Murray.
Murray.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about just even players in general.
No.
Okay.
I was still going on goalies. But even Murray, he had his first season without Fleury with him that last year, and he didn't play that well.
Yeah.
Because he had to take on the bulk of the responsibility. I mean, most of it, he was hurt some of the season, but he didn't play like he had in the past. So it's different for when, and you need to be patient on this.
Yeah,
and
for
seeing
sure.
how
you have to get it right.
Yeah, and Hextall is really patient with his prospects.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure people would have loved to see Provorov a year earlier.
But here's my thing: is that would he kind of be the same player?
Probably not.
Yeah, that because obviously I think everyone would want Evan Provorov and even Travis Konecny. You could argue to have already been up there,
like a Couturier when he was right there.
Oh yeah,
came in first season.
Here's the thing, because I think that was honestly the best move because it took Couturier a little bit, but ironically,
it took him a little bit.
It did.
People are noticing it now, but Flyers fans and people who were actually paying attention to the Flyers and Couturier itself, not the people who were saying he's shit because he doesn't have the offense. He was one of the best defensive players and everything.
Yeah.
He was shut down Malkin in 2012.
Yep.
He pissed him off and hurt him.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing is during the 2012 season, I noticed that Couturier was struggling throughout the year and everything. And at one point, I was like, man, something's got to happen. Like, Couturier's got to turn around somehow. We were watching the game, and Kimmo Timonen took a slap shot and accidentally hit Coots right in the back of the ear. Took him out. And ever since then, for the rest of the year, he was just on fire. I was like, Kimmo, what'd you do to your teammate? It's like you gave him like the ultimate power to score goals and stuff.
Exactly.
It was just kind of funny. And
now, last season, he had a career year.
Yeah.
And he was actually recognized for it, too. He was a finalist.
For the Selke. Probably should have won it, but...
Maybe, but...
NHL's the NHL, so...
He is.
Yeah,
but now he's going to get league recognition instead of just local recognition.
Which is great because people could understand, finally, how great he was. He put
what
5
everyone was
points, including a hat trick in Game 6 loss on one leg against the Penguins. Against the Penguins.
Mm-hmm.
Not just 19, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
The team that won back-to-back Stanley Cups. I mean, they're not the same team.
But I agree with you.
It's the Penguins.
Yeah.
He did it against Crosby and Malkin and Kessel.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah. But going to this upcoming season, next offseason will be an interesting one, though, just because the Flyers have $10 million, a little bit over in their cap space. They have all these guys to re-sign. And listen, so some of the guys who are going to be free agents next season. You have Carlson, who, if he's not traded or whatever, he'll be gone on a free agency. Duchesne's going to be on there. Simmons will be. There's some big names out there next year.
I'm going to actually look at 2018-19. Mm-hmm. Well, actually... I guess that would be the thing is that I gotta look at this actually. I'm trying to figure out how to properly word this. Like, would this be for the 2019-20 season we're looking at, or 2000. Oh no, it would be because like
season.
10 great names popped up. So Sergei Bobrovsky, Mark Stone, Pekka Rinne, Erik Karlsson, Jordan Eberle, Matt Duchene, Joe Pavelski, Artemi Panarin, Tyler Seguin, Jeff Skinner, Blake Wheeler. Who else here? Zdeno Chara, if anyone's interested. Let's see.
He might retire.
Probably. Brock Nelson, Jake Gardner, that'd be a great one. Simmons.
Jay Bumeister.
Jacob Silverberg.
There's a pretty...
That's a lot of great names out there. Jonas Donskoy is an interesting one. But Oscar Lindberg.
Like, just those couple names, just like, maybe that's why the Flyers didn't make the biggest splashes.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. Andre Schuster.
And if you've paid kind of attention to Panarin, I think he wants to go to a big city.
Yeah. I think...
He might go back to Chicago, let's be honest here. But
Philadelphia
is a big city.
Yeah, and one of the analysts is saying that Philadelphia could be on his list, perhaps, and I thought that was really interesting. All right,
and you could possibly get Bobrovsky back.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, no,
he's only 29.
Yeah, but
he's a $6.2 million salary. His cap hit is 7.42.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the only thing. But I'm just saying that.
Oh no, I agree 100%.
He's a guy that the Flyers could possibly acquire if they want to get a goalie, because they have 2 goalies free agent next season.
Yep. Or just go after Pekka Rinne.
Either way.
Yeah.
I mean, Rinne's older, so he won't cost us much.
That's true.
But he might be one of those goalies that just stays in Nashville.
I think he will. But the guys I'm looking at the most are being interesting for free agents. Panarin, or possible free agents. Let me restate that. Possible ones. Panarin, Bobrovsky, Karlsson, Seguin. I don't know where Seguin would end up. If
he leaves Dallas.
That's a big if, though. If he leaves Dallas, because him and Jamie Benn, they're forming a tremendous chemistry.
They're going to want him back just because
easily.
That if they want to try to contend.
Yeah. Blake Wheeler even would be a good signing for any team.
Mm-hmm. If he has another great year like this past year, the Jets are going to be the first team that want to offer him the money.
Oh, yeah, easily.
What do you think the defense will look like next season?
It's a great question. So, we go here.
Which is the thing we can lead that to power play.
Yeah, that's a great question. Because I know we did want to talk about that today.
Yeah, we did. But with the Folin signing, I think he's going to be our seventh defenseman.
Yeah. So what it could look like is...
Even though with Hacksaw, you never know.
With Hacksaw, knowing him, it would look like this, perhaps. Well, according to dailyfaceoff.com, here's something that they have. Ivan Provorov and Andrew McDonald, first pair. Robert Haig and Shane Gostisbehere, second pair. Travis Sanheim and Radko Gudas, third pair.
That's not how I'll do it.
I'm not surprised.
No.
I would put Provorov and Gostisbehere together. I would love that.
That's 100%. They're a top pair.
That you need to do. They have two best defensemen.
Then I'd probably put
Haig and Sanheim.
Yeah, or no, Sanheim and Gudas.
Sanheim, Gudas, that's a good one. Yeah. And then you put Mac and Haig.
Yeah.
I guess. Or even Folin and Haig.
Mm-hmm.
Or just say, screw it, call it Philip Myers.
They're not going to do that.
I know. So, one can dream.
He's going to have a longer look in preseason, but he's going to... He could easily come up at some point during the season.
Oh,
but
hands down. Because he had a pretty long look last year.
He was one of the first ones to...
Oh, he was?
Down. Yeah, he was.
Okay.
It didn't look that great in preseason last year. So
honestly, it's been such a long time. I can't remember.
But yeah, the defense is going to improve from last season, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Flyers fans are going to be happy because after next season, 2020, 2021, McDonald's gone.
Yep.
Hopefully. Unless the Flyers are higher on them than we think they are, but
I think they kind of are just because
I guess just because he's a guy that kind of brings the leadership thing,
and that's exactly why they gave him
that fans don't really see.
Yeah, because all the players, they see it because they see it every day practice or games. Mm-hmm. They say how great of a leader he is.
Yeah, I mean he's only 31, so he's not that old.
Right.
Last season he didn't play terribly.
True.
I mean, he had Manning to make him look even better. But
also, another note, Manning went to Chicago, so that helps the Flyers a bit.
And Tyler Kennedy.
Oh, yeah. And Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Nice job, Chicago.
Yeah. Interesting moves, but if they get Panarin back, then they're back to where they were before.
Yeah. And then they might trade him again.
Yeah. Well, if they give him another long contract again.
Right. I honestly was shocked they traded him in the first place. Yeah. Sure, they got Brandon Saad back, but nah.
How well is that working out for them?
I don't know.
Not well.
But they do have Alex Brinkett, and that kid's going to be real good. He's going to be a stud.
And now with the JVR signing and Sanheim probably being up for the whole year, the second power play unit could look better.
Right.
Because you could even go not even touching that first power play unit.
Well, so with the first power play unit, here's what
put Simmons and JVR on that second line, and they'd be improved.
Well, here's a really interesting look that Here's a very interesting look that Daily Faceoff gives everyone to view. For the top power play unit, Jake Voracek on the left wing, Patrick centering, Wayne Simmons on the right wing, Giroux left defense pair, Goss's pair, right defense pair. Second unit, JVR, left wing, Coots, center TK, right wing, Lindblom, left defense pair, and Provorov, right defense pair.
That's interesting.
Right. I figured you'd get a kick out of that one.
Mm-hmm. How would you have the power play?
For me personally,
besides Salt, the obvious ones of.
Well, I kind of like the top power play unit how it is. The only thing I would probably change is put JVR on the wing instead of maybe Simmons.
Yeah,
because I like Voracek's speed and his passing on that unit.
Yeah,
it's too good, and his chemistry with Giroux is really good.
Three of them. And Ghost.
Voracek, Giroux, and Ghost. So there's that. Second unit, I like Coots and Provorov.
I would take. Yeah. You could even have Van Reimsdyk on for Couturier and have Patrick there, and hopefully the secend power play unit's better.
I think it definitely will because
I'd probably they had Lundblom on it, but I'd probably put Wheel there. But
that'd be interesting.
That's just me, just because he's more of a scorer kind of guy. So
I gotcha. And I think with the signing of JVR, it kind of forces the Flyers to move on their better players on the second power play unit,
which is probably something they would.
I'm happy with.
But another way is that because I know they like to go a one defenseman even on their second power play unit, but with Sanheim up, I'd go back to the two defensemen.
I kind of would too, yeah.
Because Provorov, Sanheim, that's a great pair.
Yeah, it really is.
But even if you look in the future, just the defense pair itself with Philippe Myers coming up, how would you like this as a top two? Goss's pair, Provorov, Sanheim, Myers.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Just seeing how well the two of them did last year for the Phantoms. But, I think we touched on most of the things that's happened since.
Absolutely.
So, I guess after that, see ya.